I don't know what's wrong with my video. I can't get it to work. 3 times I thought I was video and it wasn't working. I did all of this was supposed to be video and I reset it. Something just won't happen today. I don't know what it is. But anyway, since I'm this far, I'm gonna go with it from here. It's a John Total Flint Nappy, and this is a big old piece of Georgetown I'm playing around with. And what I got to thinking about when I started it, I wasn't even gonna video it. But when I got one side kind of cleared off of Cortex, I started videoing, and then it quit. My videos and it quit. It liable to quit again. If it does, I'm giving up. But anyway, grinding your platform is what I want to talk to you about. This piece made me think of it. I was watching a good friend of mine the other day, and he was working some material he heat treated, and I mean it was heat treated perfection. It was a little brittle because it was so heat treated that way. And when he hit it, it chipped out in a big U shape on the side. It almost went too far in. It come very close to breaking it in half in two. And I was looking at it before he hit it, and what I was noticing before he started hitting on it, I'm having a hard time working and talking this morning. He was just grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. He didn't get to hitting on it and kept grinding. And when I looked, it was that thick. I mean, that thick right there. He was hitting on some major mass, and the little old point wasn't like this. And when you hit on something that thick, it takes a lot of force to knock that flake off, especially something that thin. You can get away with it, something this big, but it just broke out. And so later on, the same situation, he's sitting there, and this guy is incredibly good. And he's only been napping just a little while. I'd say he's probably better than I am. But when you watch somebody a lot of times, you learn what they're doing wrong when they make mistakes. But he was going through there, and later on he knocked another little chip out of one. And so I'm sitting there thinking, well, he's grinding his platforms too thick. This late in the game, and what I mean late in the game is the point was getting real thin, and I mean real thin. Plus, if you look at it and it would break, it was kind of like opal. It had such a great heat treating job on it, it was extremely brittle. But if you're hitting something that's extremely brittle and thick and you come down like this, the odds are it's going to break out right in here because it's kind of thinner back here and it's thicker there. And the reason I'm telling you this, to help you out, I am no expert, but I know somebody that is. When they make something this incredibly thin and this wide, I think they know what they're talking about. And that's Jason Newman. Jasonnewman. This is one of his blades. And I'm laying it up here. I wouldn't dare even have it out showing it, but this one was dropped and broke right across here, and he let me have it, and I glued it back together with super glue because I wanted to study it. And when Jason, he don't even use a rough grinder like this. He uses a medium grit, and when he grinds his preform, he comes down just like this. Sometimes just one time watching, and a massive piece will come off. It makes sense if you stop and think about it. I see guys on TV that hit on this and just hammering, boy, they just grind and grind and grind. Well, if they've done it all their life, they can probably get away with it. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying look at Jason's work. They know exactly how to hit right on the edge to get away with it, and the angle to hit to get away with it. But I had rather mess up and not break it than to have it over ground and break it because I didn't hit perfect. If that makes sense. If it's just a lightly braided thing, when I say I'd rather mess up, if it's just lightly ground like this, let me show you what I'm talking about. and I don't hit the right place or I hit too far in, I hadn't heard anything. Boy, if that joker's thick as my belly is, and that's thick, and I come in swinging from left field like this, and I don't hit that edge just right, I'm going to break a big chunk out of it, or half in two. Most of the time, half in two. You're lucky if you don't break it half in two. It's just a big chunk coming out of it. But anyway, that's all I'm going to harp on. Hope you will watch Jason Newman. Don't take my word for it, because I'm no expert. Watch the man that does the job. And he'll do indirect percussion when it gets almost through. Also, I use this heavy billet when they're this wide, even on thin edges like here, because I can move more mass a lot quicker. I knock my flakes further, I start getting it thinner further, and start setting it up better. Now look at that little thin edge, what you didn't have to swing near as hard. If I'd have used this, I'd have swung real hard to knock that much off, make it run that far. But because I used that, I just could barely come down and tap it and do the same thing. And if I'm not swinging real hard, guess what? My accuracy is really improving. And I've said it before, it's like bunting a baseball. If you're not swinging, you're just sticking the bat out there like a glove. If you got a glove on and you're up there batting, and you throw the bat away and you put a glove on, and the pitcher throws the ball, if it's anywhere reach of your arm, you're going to catch it in that glove, or it's going to hit that glove. And the same thing about swinging real hard. If you're sitting there swinging real hard, you're liable to come down, you're liable to overshoot, but when you're doing like this, you're just tapping down, your accuracy has greatly improved. And if you hadn't noticed it yet, I'm sure you have, and when I'm talking, I'm pointing my finger at me. I got one pointed your direction, I got 3 more coming back in my direction, maybe 4. But if I'm just sitting here like this, just poking, I got a lot of accuracy. I'm just going right down this edge, chipping where I want to chip on it. I mean, a lot of accuracy. And I'm not breaking very much. Usually when I break something, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I hit and something didn't come off, and I haul off and hit again. And I know it ought to break, I think the platform's right. Instead of looking and rechecking everything, I'm just thinking in my mind, boy, everything's perfect. I keep hitting, I'll end up breaking. And I get a hinge, the more aggravated I get, and the harder I'll try to come in to get it out. And it just don't work like that. I'm going to try to run a good one right here with this. Nah, I didn't do as good as I wanted, but the good one went right to there. I was hoping to go a little further. There's a low spot there that stopped it. I thought I was above the low spot, and it would have undercut it and went a little further, but it didn't. That's my biggest problem is being able to read the curves in the rock and the angles. I'm not good at that. And I said, boy, this looks like it's going to run right to there. And I looked and I said, there's gonna mess low right in there. Which it was, and I knew it was. I was trying to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now watch this. This ought to run down to here because it's not low. I'm pretty sure it's not low because it was real obvious it wasn't low. Now, if it was close, I probably couldn't have judged it and couldn't tell anything about it. And the same thing here, it gets low here. So if it goes this far, I'm lucky. I'll stop about a quarter of an inch before it gets there, which it did because it's low. I ground that one too thick. I was trying to turn it this way and it was already turned more than I realized I should have looked. So I'm going to have to hit it right on the edge. I'm going to have to be real careful. There we go. I just barely skimmed that edge. If I can get it back in place, you can see. Man, I just skimmed that edge. Now watch this one. One shove. Weight went right to there. This one kind of dips down right in here, but I think it's going far enough. I'd probably run one way over to there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Well, it's hanging on. Let me just tap it like this. There you go. I don't want to put my fingernail under it. I said probably to right there, and that's where it went. I'm going to come back this way and smooth it all in. Got a little hinge right in there, so I'm going to hit up high, see if I can get past it, and I did. I undercut it, I dropped it, part that was undercut, I dropped on the ground. I've got to go. Look at a diamond rock saw a friend of mine got for sale. And I'm probably not going to finish this. I don't know if I'm going to finish it when I come back here or not. I got a lot of other things to do. I'm going to grind a little hard here because it's real narrow, but not much. I'm going to hit with this. Look what happens. Ooh. I got a V right in there. And I'm supposed to hit over here and run that ridge, and I'm hitting right there and it's not breaking. That's what I'm talking about. Your accuracy can be off and it can mess you up. I'm trying to hold it in my hand and hit like this, and too much is moving instead of bracing it here. Probably done messed it up now. Yep, I got it chattered all in there. I'm going to take this and come back this way, hit up above it, regrind it. Now I ain't hit right on that point. I think that got me out of trouble. It didn't run but that far because I'd already hit so many times. I put a lot of little fractures in there on it. I'll go now. Yep, there we go. Now we're getting it. this one I'm gonna hit lengthwise. Hit this way. And when you see me grinding a bunch of times like this, I'm turning this edge this way. It's still a thin edge, I'm just reshaping the edge. I'm not making a thick mass there. If I was grinding straight into it, I'd be making a thick mass. Okay, that's about all I'm gonna do on this one. I got to go meet that guy. I got about an hour drive, and anyway, I gotta get out of here. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Hope it might help you on your platform. Here's Tommy Hawk I just made out of Georgetown. Got a whitetail antler handle on the end of it. Deer hide, rawhide I made, and laces out of deer rawhide. But anyway, thought y'all might enjoy looking at it.